It's always on my end that the connection is bad and the other person is like, what's going on? I'm like, I live in Germany. Hello and welcome. My name is Kendra and ich bin deine Lieblingsauslanderin, coming back to you with another video. So for those of you who watched my Why I Moved to Germany video, you know that this is my second time moving to Germany. I studied in Kassel in 2016. Then after I graduated college, I moved to Berlin to work as an au pair for a year. Then I went back to New York for 2 years to work and save money. Now I'm back in Germany. I live in Bayern and I'm a grad student. Okay, I had to give you like my entire Lebenslauf because I know people are gonna be hurt and offended, but it's all love. I love Germany. I think it's a great country. That's why I live here. But every country has things about it that we do not like. And I have 5 things in particular that I don't like about living in Germany or just Germany in general. This video is not meant to trash Germany. It is just one woman's humble opinion. Take it with a grain of salt and let's get into the video. But before we get started, make sure you click that like button and But before we get started, make sure you click that like button and make sure you hit subscribe for more great content. So the first thing I don't like about Germany is something that's pretty broad, but it's inconvenience. I don't like the inconvenience of Germany. I'll give a couple examples because this really touches on a few different things. So one thing about the US is we love our convenience. If you want to go to a store and get everything that you need at that one store, we have multiple different options where you can do that. Or even if you want to go shopping at 3 in the morning, especially in New York City, you can do that. If you want to book something online, it's pretty easy. Germany's not that convenient. Like, I know there are stores like Real and there used to be Walmart here, and in Berlin you have Spätis that stay open all night, but for the most part, Germany is not that convenient. These are more like the exception and not the rule. So for the most part, if you need multiple things, you're gonna have to go to multiple stores. And if you need something late at night, you're probably not gonna get it because everything's closed. Especially like where I live in a small town, but even like in small towns in the US, the superstores stay open late. So that's just not something you're gonna find in Germany. And another example of inconvenience is, I feel like I always get the runaround in Germany. Like, if I need to make a call to one office, they'll put me on hold and transfer me and tell me to call this one and tell me to call that one. This happens with the doctor's office. This happens with the Finanzamt. This happens with the Ausländerbehörde. Every time I need to do something in Germany, I always get the runaround. People sending me here, there. And I feel like it's really hard to get something done in one fell swoop, which is why I try to avoid making phone calls because I just know I'm gonna be passed around. So I send emails, which usually don't get answered. Or one time I sent an email to a company and they didn't respond 1 or 2 days later. So I was like, okay, that's fine. I'm just gonna have to, bite the bullet and make a phone call. They sent me a letter in the mail 2 days later responding to my email. Why? Just why? I don't get it. But yeah, Germany is not the land of convenience. Second thing that I don't like about living in Germany is Deutsche Bahn. You guys, you know what I'm gonna say, Deutsche Bahn. I've taken it many times over the last 5 years, and I would say maybe like 2 or 3 of those times has my train not been late. So it's not so bad when I don't have to make a transfer, but when I have to make a transfer, Deutsche Bahn is not my friend. And it's usually a quick transfer, like one of those 5-10 minute transfers, which I try to avoid, but sometimes it's just the only option that I have versus waiting so much longer for the next train. But my train is always late. Sometimes I get lucky and both of my trains are late, but for the most part, when I have to make a connection, the first train is late and the second train is on time and I'm just screwed. So I just have to wait until the next train comes. I think Deutsche Bahn is great in theory. Like, you can get from one end of Germany to the other for a relatively affordable price. They just need to work on the punctuality. Like, the Pünktlichkeit is not there. A lot more people rely on the train here than in the US. We don't really take the train like that. We don't really take Amtrak as much as people take Deutsche Bahn and other kinds of trains here. And also it takes so much longer to travel around the US. So a lot of people just don't bother. They just fly, or some people want to save money so they drive. But yeah, a lot more people rely on the train here and it lets us down. I'm not sorry, Deutsche Bahn, but you guys really need to get it together, seriously. I've seen multiple people complain about it, so do better in 2021, thank you. The next thing I don't like about living in Germany is the Wi-Fi. The internet here is incredibly slow. It's like I have a running joke with myself. Every time I land in Germany, I say, I know I'm back in Germany because the Wi-Fi is so slow. And I don't get it because Germany is such a technologically advanced country. It's one of the most technologically advanced countries in the world, but the Wi-Fi is so bad. When I try to connect to public hotspots, I always have a problem. Even the Wi-Fi in my apartment is just so slow, and I don't get it. I've never actually had this conversation with somebody, but I've seen a few articles online about people complaining about how slow the Wi-Fi here is. It just makes things so much harder, especially now. We have to do everything on the computer. We're always on Zoom. I'm always trying to upload YouTube videos and they take too long, and sometimes you guys don't get them until Saturday because the Wi-Fi is so bad. And whenever I call people back home in the US, I use FaceTime and I use the Wi-Fi for FaceTime. It's always on my end that the connection is bad and the other person is like, what's going on? I'm like, I live in Germany. I don't know what it is with the Wi-Fi. I'm sure somebody can explain it to me, but I've just always had bad experiences with the internet connection here. Now I'm getting all riled up because the last two are my least favorite. So the fourth thing that I don't like about living in Germany is cash-only places. I do not like carrying around cash. I don't like the thought of potentially losing it or somebody taking it from me and that money is just gone. So I usually don't carry cash. When I'm in New York, you can pay for anything with a credit card or a debit card. So I never carry cash when I'm in the US. But in Germany, there are so many shops that don't take card. Apparently, that's slowly starting to change now with the panorama. There's still a good amount of shops, especially where I live, where they just do not take card at all. Now I'm in the habit of, if I go out, I know I have to bring cash because I'm gonna be mad if I get someplace and I'm hungry and I can't pay with card. It's to the point where it's so deeply ingrained in my mind that when I went back to New York in March, I was walking past the ATM and my first thought was, oh, I gotta get cash just in case I'm going somewhere and they don't take card. I have bought a 50-cent stamp in the US with a credit card. It is the land of plastic in more ways than one that I'm not proud of. But yeah, the cash only thing is still pretty prevalent here and still something I really, really don't like after 5 years. Ooh, the last one is a little controversial because I've never gotten a good reaction when I've talked about this thing, but I gotta get to my last point. The last thing that I don't like about living in Germany is that shops are closed on Sundays now. I know that Sunday is a day of rest and it used to be a day where a lot of people went to church, and now it's just a day where people just stay at home, chill with the family and all that. But this is why it's a personal thing for me. When I was growing up, Sundays were a day that we would chill at the house for a little bit, hang out with each other, and then we would go to the mall. And that was a fun day for us because usually it was the only day that my parents didn't work and we got the chance to go to the mall, go hang out. Even if we weren't buying anything, we would like to go to the shops and window shop, maybe get a quick bite to eat in the mall or something. It was a little bit nostalgic for me to go shopping on Sundays, and I'm not a homebody. I don't like to be in the house. So to have a day where I'm forced to stay in the house is frustrating. But I've taken to going hiking and going for walks a lot more, and restaurants are still open on Sunday, but the only thing is you cannot go shopping. You can't get your groceries. So that means you either have to get your groceries on Saturday or you have to wait until Monday. And usually I just get everything I need before Saturday anyway. But there's some days where I'm just like, I have a craving that I can't fulfill right now because the store is closed and I gotta wait till tomorrow. And sometimes, just to add insult to injury, in Bavaria, we have a lot of holidays, a lot of Catholic holidays. And sometimes the shops will be closed on Sunday and Monday, like with Pfingsten just this past week. So yeah, I don't like it. I'm accustomed to it, but that doesn't mean I like it. So yes, those are the 5 things that I don't like about living in Germany. Like I said, I still love Germany. It's a great country. It's just very, very different things than what I'm used to back home. But that's the fun of traveling and living in different countries. You just encounter things that you're not used to or that you didn't grow up with, and hopefully it makes you a much more open-minded person. So thank you guys for watching, and until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll see you in my next video. Auf Wiedersehen.